the day a little bit and try to I don't know what I'm gonna try to do, but there's gonna be some crying. So I'll wait a few more minutes to start because it's just a shitty day, shitty couple months, and so just going to figure it out as we go. It's been a couple weeks of ups and downs and really a couple of pretty good ups, thinking that we were somewhere, and thinking, and maybe delusional, maybe misguided, maybe too optimistic, and, thinking that, I don't know, the thing is, like, it presented like a stomach ache, so it was like gastritis, no big deal. We can get that taken care of. We'll come home and be fine. And so then you got pneumonia, and then pneumonia, again, a little more serious, but very treatable. Always catch things early, so he's coming home, And then we just, then everything started to kind of fall apart, and then it started to fall apart more, and then it started to come together again. So, thinking, we were like, we talked 2 days ago, and maybe I should never said that he was coming home, Maybe I jinxed it, maybe that's what the problem was, is talking about him coming home, and the vets were really, we had optimistic vets and we had vets that were more realistic and more, we had the gamut on everybody, and so, I think everybody was right. What are you doing, the heat lamps? So, and now you go into minute by minute, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Should have taken him earlier. We are having a necropsy done to see if what it was 100%. Like we know what it is, but we want to know, like, we want all the details. So it started last night. I haven't slept in a couple of days. Just a lot of things going on, and I fell asleep last night about 8 o'clock, passed out, woke up about midnight. And about 12:45, I get a call from Cornell last night. And those are calls, 12:45, Cornell calling is not a good phone call. It never is. So I answer, what's wrong? Because it's the doctor's cell phone. She goes, Steven's having a rougher day. He's went for a walk and he can't catch his breath. His respiratory rate is fine. I think you should come. I don't think we're at the end, but I think you should come be with him. So I get in my car. I get there about 3:30. So I get there about 3:30, and he was walking around, and he got a lot better when I was there, and he looked good, and and I was calling Christina and figuring stuff out, and and I said, if he's never coming home, he can't live here, and I think we have to say goodbye. And she's like, yeah, I don't know 100% if we're at that point, and because he started looking really good, so we got really optimistic. there was a cat. They have a barn cat there that he was trying to eat. He was trying to kill the barn cat, like through the his little fence. He was trying to like, and I'm like, okay, this pig isn't ready to give up. I brought him like Oreos. He was eating Oreos. I was scratching him. He was talking to me, but his respiration was really high. So you could see he was having a high respirator, like his chest was going up and back. But other than that, like if it was just his head, you would think he's healthy as hell. But you saw his chest and it wasn't working. So, we were talking about coming home and how we would come home and the plans and I think we got very caught up in the moment of thinking he was doing better than he was. I think that's what it was. We got caught up in the moment and thinking he was doing much better than he was. And so I guess around 4:30, I'm like, okay, so, we'll give it a couple of days. If it doesn't work in a couple of days, then we'll call it. We'll get, but we have time. He's not stressed terribly. We're able to calm down. Let's give it a couple of days. So I said, okay, I'm going to come home. I had to go home and feed. So I left about 4:00. Really tired. Oh, maybe it was like 4:30 to come back. So I was exhausted. I literally had to have 2 Monsters and a coffee with the extra shot of espresso because I was like falling asleep. Like absolutely exhausted, beyond exhausted. So I'm like, okay, I thought it was rather weird. Like I get home, we feed. I'm like, I'm going to go to sleep for an hour. I'm exhausted. I got to go to Tractor Supply. I got to go to the hardware store and get some stuff. So I fell asleep. I didn't even fall asleep. I laid in bed for an hour, took a shower, got dressed, and went to Tractor Supply. And I'm sitting, and I got a really odd feeling. And so I'm sitting in Tractor Supply in the parking lot, and I get a call from Cornell, the main number. And I'm like, is he gone? It's like, no, he's not gone. But he's not doing well. And I had a tour coming that we canceled last week. And I said, okay, I'm going to come. They're like, I don't think you should. I think it's time. And, I talked to Wendy and, I talked to, Christina and, and this isn't about me. In no way, shape, or form. Would I love to be there for him? Of course. But he shouldn't suffer for 1 second longer so I could be with him. Dr. Taylor is a wonderful human being, and she was there, and I said, okay, I'm not going to come. I said, and I don't want to talk about it. I just want a text that says he's gone. That's all I want. I don't want to talk about it. So I ran home and I laid with Penelope for like an hour because I'm waiting for this text, which is the worst freaking thing in the world. So I'm laying with Penelope because I just know like this is more about Penelope. So I'm laying with Penelope. And I'm rubbing her belly, I'm rubbing her chin, just being with her. And she got really agitated for a second. Didn't like try to bite me, just got like very uncomfortable for a second and then settled. And I'm like, I think he's gone. I think she got some sort of connection that he was gone. Like she got really riled, like out of the blue. Like I was just scratching her neck, rubbing her belly. She was sleeping and she got really riled. And I'm like, oh, I think he's gone. And then, a couple minutes later, I get the text, he's gone. And then she's like, he went very peacefully. So she expanded. And I went and I got some watermelon and I gave her some watermelon and just this was about her. She definitely knew. There's no doubt she knew. She got really startled. Um, this was a hard one, and I think because he fought so hard and every part of him was healthy except for his lungs. And so that's the worst, when the mind is still sharp. When the mind is still sharp, it's like, it's the worst, like he just, you know, like he was grunting at me. I was petting him and we were just having these beautiful moments and I'm excited. I'm so excited that we had those moments because if we didn't have those moments and they called me and said, so all that was meant to happen. All last night was meant to happen. I mean, I was wide awake when she called me at like 12:45 and I'm telling you, when you never want a phone call at, oh, thank you, 44. You never want a phone call in the middle of the night is never good. Thank you, John. It's never good. But I am going to embrace those moments we had together. I kissed him goodbye, and I still think like today, like during the day, I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the oxygen tank. Oh, I got to bring this. And I keep forgetting that I'm not going back there. I'm not going to see him again. And they're going to do a necropsy because it's important for our other residents, for other Potbellies, so we have more information on what and how to help this. I do want to break some laws and hurt some people who caused him this damage because they killed him. He was murdered. This is murder, 100%, no doubt. Just because he didn't die at his initial injuries doesn't mean they didn't kill him. Yeah, just because he didn't die when they beat him doesn't mean it didn't shorten his life. He fought harder than any animal I ever met. I've never seen an animal fight harder for their life, and I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly that he fought harder than anyone's ever fought. I am not exaggerating. I'm not anything. He fought harder than anybody I've ever met. I hope karma takes care of it. If karma doesn't, I will. I'm just really angry. I'm really angry. I'm really upset. I'm really sad. The emotions are all over the place as far as just because he was such a happy pig. He was such a happy pig. And it doesn't matter if you're happy, if you're a dick, you deserve to live. It doesn't matter. But he was a happy pig. He had a love affair. He had a beautiful love affair. And he just, this one took me real hard, I just stared out the window. I was in my room and my room overlooks this pasture. And I just stared out the window and just stared. It's rainy. It's a gross day. It's definitely a funeral day, And I just stared out the window at these guys. And, I couldn't snap out of it, and obviously it's been a rough couple months. And if I get one more freaking phone call in the middle of the night, I'm going to lose my shit, There's only so many of those you could take, in a year, So, yeah, and here's the thing. I don't question for a second. I gave him a beautiful life. I gave him every opportunity. Maybe I should have called it sooner, but I think it was called at the exact right time. And I even kind of shut the doctor up a little. And I said, I don't need to talk about this anymore. Let's just do this. Well, he's going to, he's he's gonna have a necropsy. He's gonna be cremated alone. We only do individual cremations, and then he'll come home. They cut off some of his hair off his tail for me, so I could smell him. I like to smell him. I get to smell Louis a lot. You know, I have Louis's tail, not the tail, just the hair. It's not weird. And this is what we do, and I wouldn't change my life for anything. I have to say this. I'm not looking for pity and a woe. This isn't a woe is me, because I love my life, and this is part of my life, and we are not a sanctuary that takes in healthy babies, and you know that these are all broken animals. Like, there's no one that is here that came from a healthy environment, and that's why they end up here. So this is part of what we do. We've been blessed to have access to really amazing medical care. So, you know, because here's the thing, like, he had a chance because of Cornell. He had a chance because of Cornell. If it wasn't for Cornell, he wouldn't have survived this long. And he had, you know, while he was in the hospital, you know, Dr. Taylor made his time there super comfortable. It wasn't home, but it was really nice. And she was beautiful with him. And, you know, when I showed up last night, Dr. Taylor came out and she looked really sad. And, you know, we talked for a while and spent time and we laughed, and it was just a nice time. You know, it was a nice time. Obviously, it's terrible because it was our last time together. But, you know, I you know, again, things happen for a reason. And I think being there, it's weird because it's like deja vu, you know, another Saturday night spent going and so, you know, and it's so funny, just like I was wide awake when I got the phone call, so I didn't miss the phone call, you know, and I just got, and this is funny because I was like, I was probably going to sleep in my truck again. So I didn't want to take any time up packing or anything. So I literally like ran downstairs. Lyle and Candy came with me, and I took all the blankets out of the truck from last time. So I grabbed Princess and Wilbur's blankets off of them, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, it's 1:00 in the morning, and I'm ripping their blankets off. I'm like, "They're coming with me." So I stole Wilbur and Princess's blankets. So they're not too happy with me, but you know, I don't know, you know, and now I'm like, you know, I see the Love Shack, and that's where they started. You know, the Love Shack's right in front of me. That's where they lived for a while. We thought they were going to live there forever. You know, I just, you know, thank you everybody for the continued support. It's been a road, man. It's been crazy. You know, I think like maybe he held out for my birthday, and you know, I did get my birthday wish because I thought he was coming home. So I think maybe it was just the delusion that he was coming home was my birthday wish, and that kind of got me through the day. Yeah, oh, definitely, Craig. You know, that got me through yesterday, because if he was sick, I had a nice and quiet birthday, and if he was sick, you know, if he was, you know, it would have been a really miserable birthday, and if he passed on my birthday, then my birthday would be ruined forever, you know. So I guess I kind of got the birthday wish, because in my mind he was coming home, and that was all I wanted for my birthday was him coming home. So like I kind of got that, you know. So maybe in just a different way, you know. And like I said, it was like 12:45, so it was right there, you know. So it was like it was right at the end of the birthday, you know. So I don't know, and I don't even care about birthdays. So but having a family member pass on your birthday just is going to ruin it for every year. So I don't know. So it is what it is, you know. He was an absolutely beautiful pig in and out. I have a tattoo appointment on Thursday. It was supposed to be Wolfie, but if I can find a better picture of Steven, I'm gonna switch it to Steven. But I don't know. I have to see the pictures. It's really hard because because it was coloring. It was hard to get a picture. So I have hundreds of pictures of him, but I got to see if one is worthy of a tattoo. So I'm gonna most likely switch the picture to Steven. So we'll see. You know, it's not the way you want a day, but again, this is what we do. You know, and most of us wouldn't trade this life for anything because the good days far outweigh the bad days. The bad days are really freaking bad. But there's a real lot of good days, and there's a real lot of changing minds. And I got a beautiful message from another doctor that that shows me that the work here that I'm doing is getting noticed by other people, and people are looking at things different because another doctor just said thank you for being their advocate, and that was nice. No, I wouldn't want anything drawn. It would have to be the picture. I don't want anything. Yeah, I'm not into the hoof print thing. No, I'm not into that stuff. You know, we'll see. It has to be organic. And we'll see what happens. I was going through pictures before, and it's hard going through pictures because then you see other animals that have passed mama, and then my dad comes up. So going through past pictures, Louis, everybody comes up, so that turns into like another thing, and I was like a bawling mess. So I have till Thursday, and he does everything on the spot, so it's fine. We'll see. So we'll see. You know, it was just a hard loss, and I think only because we thought we were winning. And like I said, you know, we're going to put up the air cleaners anyway, just to make sure. So thank you, everybody who purchased the air cleaners. I was in shock. I mean, I was, you know, I feel like I was being set up for it. And maybe it was better that I wasn't there when he left. And so, because it would have been a lot harder. So maybe it was all happened for a very good reason, and everything happened in the time it took to get there. So I don't know. I just think the Steve Van, that's pretty funny. That's not a bad idea. So what do you want, baby girl? You want to go to bed? It's early. It's such a gross day. Yeah, I mean, when I left, he was still trying to kill this cat. So Dr. Taylor said they'd go on a walk every day, and he'd antagonize a llama, and she'd have to separate him from this llama that was there. He wanted to kill this llama. So that's like the funny stories, and we were laughing. We were literally laughing with him, which was really sweet because I'm sitting there. I walk in, and again, you know, it's really weird being in a hospital at 3 a.m., you know. Is it Halloween today? So this cat like comes in, and he's like 3 feet, 4 feet from Steven's pen, just staring at Steven, and Steven's like trying to kill this cat. Like, it was really funny. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You know, because Steven really never saw a cat before. So he's literally sitting there trying to like rip the gate down to try and get to this cat. And then, so me and Dr. Taylor are talking, and, through the tears and through going back and forth, she's like, yeah, we go for a walk every day. And there's a llama down there. We do the same path every day. And I have to separate him. And, he antagonizes this poor llama every day. And, so in the grief, you get some chuckles. And and honestly, that's what I felt bad. That's why I left without calling it, because he wanted to kill this cat. I mean, that's why I did not call it. Like, that's literally why I said, okay, I think he's got some fight in him, because he tried to kill the cat. I mean, maybe I have to think about that for next time, if, maybe they still can't handle it. But literally, him trying to kill the cat was like, he's got some fight in it. Let's give him a couple more days. And that they said that poor llama every day. Just he tortured that poor llama. But literally, that's why. Like, literally, because when I was sitting there with him, I'm like, so she called me, and I'm like, okay. And then I got settled. I got in the car, and I called her back. I said, listen, if it gets bad, don't wait for me. Don't wait for me. That's funny, Craig. And so then when I was there, and when I was there, he was just looking bad. And I said, I think it's time. And I was calling Christina to confirm that. And then he started perking up and trying to get cookies and doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, and then he's trying to kill the cat. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not ready yet, But this damn cat just stared at him like the cat was being a dick, because the cat knew that he wanted to kill him, and the cat just sat there like a cat does. The cat just sat there and stared at him, just totally antagonizing Steven. And Steven was like freaking. I think the cat killed Steven. I think the cat may have killed Steven. He literally just sat there like, what's up? And the cat was just sitting there like such a dick. And Steven's like, rah, rah, rah. He was like stepping on his oxygen and ripped out one of his oxygen things. But those are the funny stories that that make you, get you through those times where you just close your eyes and you just don't want to open them, And so cats are often dicks. That freaking cat. And the cat's really cute. I see him all the time. I think he was like a stray and just wandered in there one day and never left. The Grim frickin' Reaper. That's what I'm going to name the cat now. But Steven passed away today. But literally 3 to 5 feet from the stall, just staring at Steven while Steven wanted to rip the door off the hinges. And that's why I didn't call it. Like, literally, because the decision was there. Christina was on the phone. We had another doctor on the phone. So, I don't know. It's okay. I'm going to crash. I'm going to burn. I'm going to cry. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to smile. I'm going to be everywhere. It's been hard with my dad passing, and now Steven, and so it's been a hard couple months, but again, this is what we signed on for. This is what I signed on for, and this is what you guys signed on for by supporting us as a village. So, I quit watching the news. I just focusing on here and working on this. Christina's devastated. Todd's devastated. We're all devastated. The doctors are devastated. Having doctors check in with you is really sweet, and Dr. Taylor, when we were talking and we felt like he had more time, I said, so, because we thought he was going to go home Tuesday or Wednesday. She's like, I am off this week. And I was like, what? And it's two doctors that know Steven was going to be on, but these two doctors are going to be on, but I am staying. She was staying. She was working 2 extra days so she could be with Steven. Like, that's how much she cared. And that's like beautiful, man. We need that in the animal world, that people see these animals as individuals. And the only reason and there's beautiful, amazing doctors there, but Steven made a connection with Dr. Taylor. Steven made a beautiful connection with Dr. Taylor. And the only reason that he stayed with us longer, I think, and fought harder is because he felt the love. He felt the love. And that was nice. And the great staff, Dr. Joy was very straightforward, with us, and I knew I know everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. I know how people think of me. I'm an emotional person. These animals are my family. I know that they probably, and not in a bad way, I think they kind of laugh like, oh no, Todd's coming. But again, not in a bad way. In a way of almost, I just think they just know I care so much. So they know what they're in for, and I think it's, because I'll say, I'm like, I know what you guys think. And then there's probably times where they don't think I'm going to be rational in the decision making. And I really am. I may be emotional, but I will never keep an animal alive 1 second more. And our theory here is 100%, and we abide by it, is that it's better to say goodbye, a minute too early than a minute too late. So it's better to say goodbye a little early than a little late. The thing is there's nothing worse than an animal suffering because you can't make a decision. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen people take their animal to the vet way too late, and the animal suffers. I know, I got to buy that llama something. I'm going to see if I can send him some Instacart. But that's very big on us, is that it's better to go a little too early than a little too late. And so it's hard because, like with him, he was sharp as hell, man. He was trying to kill a cat. So, we should probably take that out of the mix. If they're trying to kill another animal, it doesn't mean they're not ready to say goodbye. So and I love the doctors were wonderful. The staff was wonderful. Everybody was wonderful. And, one of the people in the office, we deal with a couple people in the office. And I don't want to say their names in case they don't want to, but there's a couple people in the office. And I was talking to one who takes care of the scheduling, and I said, thank you for doing all this. She's like, I don't do anything. I just take the appointments. I said, but if you don't take the appointments, the doctors can't do their job. So everybody has a place there, don't say you just make the appointments. Like, that's not it. It's everybody. Everybody has an equal part in this. And without you making the appointments, the doctors can't do their work. So we try to make sure everybody feels very special, I'm sure there's a Cornell Medical School. There's got to be, right? I don't know about there. Yeah, everybody has their role. So I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for their professionalism on one side and their humanity on the other. Because without humanity, this doesn't work, So, he's at peace. Am I going to be a blubbering mess later? Probably. Am I going to laugh later at him trying to kill a cat and antagonize a llama? Of course. And those are the memories you have to think about and laugh about and appreciate, because that was Steven. That was Steven. I mean, I think it's so funny that and the way Dr. Taylor described, like, that she has to separate him from this llama every day when they take their walk. And I don't know. And I keep thinking, like, oh man, tomorrow I got to get that oxygen tank. And I got to bring the oxygen machine so they can teach me how to use it. And I forget that he's not here, which is good. Those are moments that, especially like with my dad, like, I forget he's gone, and those are moments that you can appreciate because you get those are like moments of relief. So it's been a really crappy couple of months. Yeah, I got to send that llama some Instacart for putting up with my little shithead. But I can't wait to get him home, his ashes home, and just hug him. Penelope's sleeping. I put... It's just cold and rainy, but temperature-wise, it's not that cold. But I'm spoiling her a little. I put her heat lamps on early. She's sleeping, so she's the only pig that has her heat lamps on. So she's under there somewhere with her heat lamps on because I want her to feel the love tonight and feel a little more warmth. I hope Petey slept in her stall a couple times. So maybe he'll sleep in there tonight. And then we are slowly moving Sullivan into General Pop because he's being a real dick in special needs. And now that he's healing, he doesn't need to be in special needs. So he's out of ISO. I'm slowly removing his stitches. So maybe something could spark up between Sullivan and Penelope. You never know, Maybe there's a love connection there. 2.5 years. So I've been spoiling her. I will continue to spoil her. I definitely have a special connection with her. She looks at me and I melt. And so there's something always been about her. She has these penetrating eyes that just melt my heart. So like I said, I've been spoiling her, and I will continue to spoil her. So, does anybody have any quick questions? Well, you never know. I mean, Sullivan doesn't really like many animals, and she has a little bit of an attitude, so maybe that will work, She's really amazing. I mean, she's very understated. So she's very understated. She's quiet, but she's got this spunk to her. She's amazing. And my grief is bad, but my grief extends to her and what she understands. And I talked to Wendy about this for a while, and she's very independent. She's been very independent. So, there's no reason to drag her to the hospital and have it. We'll address anything that comes up. There's nothing we could have done about Steven, even if we knew right away. This was something that was unavoidable. It's lung disease. I did ask about a lung transplant, and they laughed. Was I kidding? Not really, but they haven't done that in pigs yet. So lung transplant was not an option for them. But I did ask about a lung transplant, because in a human they would have done a lung if they are eligible, or I don't know what that's called, but if they could have done that. In a human, you need a lung transplant. But I'm happy I got to kiss him and say goodbye. He's special. He'll always be special. And so we'll see. This afternoon he passed. So, thank you yesterday for the birthday wishes. Thank you today for being supportive. We got legitimately thousands of messages. Thank you. Thousands, not a cut. Like, I love you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's there. So thank you so much, everybody. I will. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but he's touched so many. He's changed so many hearts. Cornell, everybody loved him. So thank you, all the kind words, and just we're gonna keep him going and keep his spirit alive and know that he didn't die in vain because he changed people's lives. So thank you so much for all your love and support. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and pigs.